For our midterm assignment, you'll have to write a short review of each of your classmates' blogs. So let's take a look at what we'll be doing and online reviews in general. The midterm assignment is simple. Read your classmates' blogs and write a short review for each one. It should be about a paragraph each. I want it to be concise, thoughtful, entertaining, and well written. Online reviews are a key element of online writing. If you're looking to buy a book, go to a restaurant, watch a movie, travel to a new city, attend a concert, select a new service provider, purchase a gift, odds are that you'll be perusing the reviews written by others that are available online. You may have already shared your opinions online for products you've bought, music you've listened to, or TV shows you've watched. We live in a time now when everyone is a critic, and we often value the opinions of ordinary people more so than professionals. What makes a review good, something that will have an impact? How do we express our opinions so that readers take them seriously? How do we say what we want to say in a concise manner that keeps the reader's attention? Hopefully this midterm assignment will be a good exercise to both teach you how to write a good review and also provide you with some feedback on your own blog, offering you ideas on how to make it better. As you look at your classmates' blogs, think about what's great about each one. Also think about what can be improved. So what works and what doesn't? What's good and what could be better? Be specific and provide examples, but be concise and interesting. Don't waste your words. Please email me your midterm to my email address, nickleshy@aol.com. I'm extending the deadline a bit since some of you were a little delayed in setting up your blogs. Please email me your midterm assignments before October 21st. Again, the deadline is before October 21st. If you have any questions, please let me know. Here are some things to look for in blog reviews. I'll talk about each one in a little more detail. Originality, appearance, quality of writing, personality, tone, and frequency. For originality, consider the blog topic. Is it a unique idea? Is it a unique perspective of a familiar idea? Consider the blog title. Consider the execution. How original is the blog you're reviewing? Next, think about appearance. How do you like the template that the writer selected? Does it fit their topic? Think about the layout. Does the blog feature any images? What about the colors of the blog? How about the way the words look? Do the fonts fit the theme? Ask yourself, do you like the way the blog looks? An important thing to look for is the quality of the writing. Look at the headlines for each blog post. Are they creative and strong? Look at the overall writing style. Is it compelling? How about the grammar? Are there a lot of mistakes, or is it really strong? Does the writing keep the reader's interest? What are some examples of something that they wrote well, or something that sounded a bit clunky or was a bit unclear? Next, consider the personality or the tone of the blog. Does it fit the theme? Does the writer use humor? Are they being sincere? Is their tone fearless? Do they convey a sense of authority? Finally, think about frequency. How often is the blog updated with new posts? At least once a week? Less? More? How quick is the response time to reader comments? Those are some of the things to look for in your blog reviews. Remember, you're only writing a short paragraph for each review, so you don't have to address all of those for each review. But those are some aspects to look for. I basically want you to tell me what is good about each blog and what could use some improvement. Be honest, be thoughtful, and express those ideas concisely and compellingly. New media have made it easy for everyone to be a critic, and share their opinions. There's a saying, and pardon my French, opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one, and everyone thinks everyone else's stinks. Another quote about opinions is quite profound. To escape criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. Many of us are afraid to hear other people's opinions because we feel that we might be told that we're not good enough. The only way to keep other people from judging us is to do nothing and say nothing, because any action we take, anything we say, will be open for others to judge. But if we shy away and do nothing, then we'll be nothing. We can't accomplish anything if we don't try, and we cannot allow fear of criticism to keep us from trying. Here's another great quote. You may have heard it said that everyone is entitled to his or her opinion. Each of us certainly has an opinion, but you are not entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to your informed opinion. No one is entitled to be ignorant. We have to back up our opinions with facts and evidence. All opinions are not created equal. We all have different tastes, and that's valid. No one can tell you that you're wrong for liking chocolate instead of vanilla. But if you were to debate someone about which is better, the better you present your opinion, the better the odds that you might convince others that maybe your opinion is the correct one. Don't bury your head in the sand. Stand your ground and back up your point of view. There's good criticism and bad criticism. Good criticism is constructive. It's helpful. You want to receive constructive criticism because that's the only way you can improve. Negative criticism is basically trash talk. Its only purpose is to be hurtful. It doesn't aim to make you better. It aims to cause harm. So when you receive any criticism, determine if it's constructive, something that will make you and your work better. Or is it just trash talk without any substance? How can you tell the difference between constructive criticism and trash talk? First, consider the source. Who is giving you this criticism? What is their motive? If it's someone you respect, you'll take their criticism more seriously, even if you might initially disagree with it. Are they trying to build you up or tear you down? Constructive criticism points out both what is good and what could be better. It points out the flaws so that those flaws could be corrected. It points out what works so that those strengths can be made even stronger. Trash talk is just meant to weaken you, meant to make you doubt yourself, meant to badmouth something, whether or not there's any truth to the criticism. So look at the criticism objectively. That's often hard to do. None of us likes to hear that something we've worked on might not be perfect, but we need to distance ourselves a bit from our work and try to look at it not subjectively, not as something we're attached to, but objectively, looking at it the way others will see it. Only then can we value what the critics are trying to say, and only then can we determine if they have a point. How do we accept constructive criticism? How do we put aside our egos and take the feedback that is being offered to us so that we can make ourselves better and fix the mistakes that others might see? First, listen respectfully. What is the critic saying to us? Never totally ignore what's being said. Next, be sure you understand. It's easy to ignore constructive criticism if we mistake the point the critic is trying to make. Try to understand what they're trying to tell you before jumping to conclusions that they're right or wrong. Next, acknowledge the critic's point of view. We all see things from our own perspective. We all bring our own personal baggage to whatever we're experiencing. Think about where the critic is coming from. Maybe they have a point if they look at you and your work from that point of view. Do others see your work from that perspective too? Don't become defensive. Many of us have automatic knee-jerk reactions every time someone tries to judge us and our works. Don't always jump to say they're wrong. Who knows? They might be right. Don't put up your guard right away, because you might end up blocking something positive, something that could help you get better. Avoid escalating tensions. Don't turn it into a fight between you and the critic. The best debates are cordial ones in which both sides hear each other out. Don't turn it into a war, no matter how much you think the critic is wrong. Getting upset about it won't help. Follow up with positive action. No matter how negative a criticism might be, ask yourself, how can I make this better? How can I fix this? Maybe there's nothing that needs to be fixed, but then ask yourself, why is this critic seeing this flaw in my work? And is there anything I can do to make him or her not think of it as a flaw? Be positive and think of it as an opportunity for improvement. Finally, take the initiative. Cross that crevice. Make that leap of faith. Don't be afraid. When constructive criticism is offered to you, accept it and then do with it what you will. Next, how do we deliver constructive criticism to others? As we write reviews for our classmates' blogs, how can we offer good advice through our words? First, be honest. Here's an example from my own life. I was a moderator in a playwriting workshop, and we were all talking about a short play I had written. Everyone was praising me and telling me what an amazing job I did. Then one young lady spoke up and said that she thought my play was terrible. The dialogue was unbelievable, the characters were cliched, the story was weak, and she gave example after example to support her idea. The entire group was silent, because everything she said was right. That lady became my wife. She was honest with me and not afraid to tell me about the imperfections of my play, whereas the rest of the group didn't want to hurt my feelings or embarrass me. But I would rather hear the constructive criticism and try to fix what didn't work, instead of put something out there that wasn't the best it can be. Give specific examples to support your opinions. That's the best way to allow others to see the rationale for your opinions. Be specific. Share the positive along with the negative. We mistakenly think that a review should only point out what's wrong. Although that's an important part of criticism, it's also important to point out what works. What did the writer do well? Again, be specific. We might not realize that something we wrote had such a positive impact on the reader, so it's helpful to hear it. How can we repeat that success? How can we build that strength and make it even stronger? So point out both the good and the bad. Offer specific suggestions for improvement. If something doesn't work, how can it be fixed? As a critic, present your opinions in a strong manner. Be confident, consistent, and non-hypocritical. Let your personality shine through while staying professional. You want your message to be heard and to be remembered. So like all writing, you want it to reflect who you are so it has the greatest impact. So we've talked about it, but what is criticism? Criticism is the judgment of the merits and faults of the work or actions of an individual or group by another. To criticize does not necessarily imply to find fault. Criticism is the study, evaluation, and interpretation of literature, social movements, film, arts, and similar objects and events. The goal of this type of criticism is to understand the work or event more thoroughly. A critic is anyone who expresses a value judgment. Professional critics of art, food, literature, movies, television, theater, music, culture, etc. are expected to have a keen eye for the qualities of what they are reviewing and a deep knowledge of the history of their specific field. Many now famous and celebrated artists were not recognized by the art critics of their time, often because their art was in a style not yet understood or favored. Conversely, some critics have become particularly important, helping to explain and promote new trends and art movements. We talked about reviews. What is a review anyway? A review is a critical analysis of a subject. Critical in the sense that you're using criteria to judge it. Analysis in the sense that you're breaking the experience into pieces and examining each to consider how the pieces fit together to gain a better sense of the whole. A review is not simply your opinion, although there is a place for personal opinions. There's a huge difference between "I liked Killer Ants Devouring Lithuania" and "Killer Ants Devouring Lithuania was a good movie." There have been different kinds of criticism through the ages. Consumerist criticism offers recommendations to a consumer about products and services available and the merits or demerits of each. Structuralist criticism reviews a piece of work based on the established structures of the medium. Economic criticism offers a financial point of view. Marxist criticism is from the viewpoint of class struggles, often anti-capitalist. Ethical criticism discusses the work's values or perceived principles. The auteur theory views the piece as part of the overall body of work of the project's primary author. Semiotic criticism examines the symbolic nature of something. Sociological criticism analyzes a work's cultural impact. Psychological criticism reviews a work's individual meaning, even if it may not have been intentionally intended by the creator. Scholarly criticism reviews a work's scholarly criticism is often intended for academic audiences with documented quantitative and qualitative research. Throughout history, we've seen criticism evolve. In classical criticism, Aristotle's Poetics described literary forms in many critical examples of the art of his day. Medieval criticism often focused on religious texts, Jewish, Christian, and Islamic literature. Examples included Augustine's On Christian Doctrine and Thomas Aquinas's The Nature and Domain of Sacred Doctrine. Renaissance criticism developed classical ideas of unity of form and function and the idea of building on what came before. Enlightenment criticism included the works of Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Alexander Pope, David Hume, Immanuel Kant, William Blake, and others. The Age of Reason promoted intellectual exchange. 19th century criticism introduced the idea that something noteworthy need not always be beautiful, noble, or perfect. Prior to that, 18th century Romanticism focused on emotion. The new criticism of the 20th century focused on form and precise attention to the text or source material. Other types of criticism include political, satirical, and so forth. Film criticism is the analysis and evaluation of motion pictures, individually and collectively. In general, this can be divided into journalistic criticism that appears regularly in popular mass media outlets, and academic criticism by film scholars that is informed by film theory and published in journals. Film theory is an academic discipline that aims to explore the essence of the cinema and provides conceptual frameworks for understanding film's relationship to reality, the arts, individual viewers, and society at large. Alright, enough history. Let's look again at the specific qualities that critics should judge. First, aesthetics, the visual appearance. Next, skill and technique. How did they make it? Next, the inherent meaning and the subtext. Next, uniqueness and originality. Finally, the fulfilled intent. What was the purpose, and did it live up to it? Those are some of the qualities that critics should judge: aesthetics, skill and technique, inherent meaning, uniqueness, and fulfilled intent. Here are some strategies for writing a review. Start with a category to give what you are reviewing some context. Develop clear criteria of what works and what doesn't work. Make a judgment on your experience with what you're reviewing. Gather evidence to support your opinions. Then sum it all up. So start with a category to give what you're reviewing some context. Develop clear criteria of what works and what doesn't work. Make a judgment on your experience with what you're reviewing. Gather evidence to support that judgment. Sum it all up. Here are some tips to make your reviews as strong as possible. Don't rehash the plot or spend too much time describing what you are reviewing without expressing your opinion on its worth. Do provide examples to support your comments and opinions. Avoid simplistic criticisms such as "it was awesome" or "it sucked." Rather, provide insightful analysis. So don't rehash the plot or spend too much time describing what you're reviewing without expressing your opinion on its worth. Do provide examples to support your comments. Avoid simplistic criticisms and provide insightful analysis. Wait, there's more. Here are some additional tips for writing a great review. Don't be boring. I have to read all these reviews, so keep my interest. Let your personality shine through. Even if you're not an expert in the topic you're reviewing, be honest about your personal reaction and experience. Tap into your knowledge of the subject matter you're reviewing. Be consistent or explain any change in your tastes. So don't be boring. Let your personality shine through. Be honest. Tap into your knowledge of the subject matter you're reviewing and be consistent. Look at some reviews that are online to see which ones connect with you and why, and which ones you find to be empty or not compelling. blogcritics.org has some long-form, usually well-written reviews. Amazon.com has some great reviews for a variety of items. ePinions.com offers tech reviews and other categories. Yelp is another good source to see how the public rates and reviews things online. TripAdvisor.com is an example of people reviewing flights, restaurants, cruises, hotels, and more. Rotten Tomatoes compiles different movie reviews and tallies the average. CitySearch is loaded with local reviews. That's hopefully some helpful information as you begin your midterm assignment. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck, and I look forward to reading them.